All right, we'll call the legislative committee for February 18th to order. Let the record reflect that all committee members are present, along with Youth and Governance, Michael Sandwich and Stephanie Luna. So all members are present. Any citizen comments? Yes, sir. Name and address for the record, please.
My name is Dave Station. I'm here to comment on, I reside at 8959 34th Avenue. I'm here tonight to voice support on behalf of both myself and my neighbors to support Supervisor Morrissey's resolution opposing since the beginning of the year built in our neighborhood for the past 2 months. Companies such as Verizon and the Towers LLC don't live here, and they don't have to deal with the negative consequences and the outcome of a tower being built in our neighborhood. It is in the best interest of our county and to have the power to determine the best and safest locations of these cell phone towers and their alternatives. We don't need to reduce local control. We need to increase local control. We need to protect our property values, to protect the aesthetics of our neighborhood, and protect the safety and the general welfare of the neighborhood. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Dave. Any other citizen comments? Yes, ma'am. Name and address?
Cheryl Turner, 9135 39th Avenue. And I also, with Dave and the group of us, have been trying to stop this tower going up. In fact, that tower is going to be 100 feet from my back door. And I have many concerns about that, like Dave had mentioned, property value. And it's kind of upsetting. So.
Good.
Thank you.
Any other citizen comments? Any other citizen comments? Seeing none. Supervisor comments? Anyone on the committee? Seeing none, I don't have any comments. We need approval from the October 21st, 2025 minutes.
Move the October 2025 minutes.
Second.
And moved and seconded. Any corrections, additions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Youth and Governance?
Aye.
Stand approved. Resolution in support of lowering costs while improving health outcomes for incarcerated individuals with substance abuse disorders. Supervisor Decker.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Committee. This resolution came about. The sheriff came to me and told me about this possible happenings where the county could help inmates with their recovery and services in that direction, and also be switched to Medicaid, so that way it could get covered by Medicaid. Otherwise, and it would be a 90 days that they actually get covered. And if the sheriff wants to take over, because he knows more about it.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. When Medicaid, Medicare went into existence, it has a provision called the inmate exclusion policy. And what that does is that for those individuals on Medicaid and Medicare are no longer eligible for assistance while they're in custody. Well, that's understandable, but the reality is that these folks that are going to be leaving custody have a lot of circumstances, right? We have substance use, mental health issues, things of that nature. I've been in front of all of you, discussed these things multiple times. I wanted to talk about this opportunity because this has been going through the state. It's been voted on, and it's getting a lot of good support, but there's a caveat to this that I'm going to make sure is covered. So if this is going to get put forward on behalf of the Macomb County Board, I'm going to make sure one tiny little provision is in there. I want to read a couple of things. The states can choose which types of correctional settings to include in the demonstration, including state prisons, local jails. That's the big one for us, local jails, tribal correctional facilities, and youth correctional facilities. And states can also have the option to limit demonstration participation to specific individual correctional facilities. So State Medicaid Director, William Hanna, he'll be the one putting this forth, to make a decision that he's going to be the one reflecting on Wisconsin's behalf for participating in this. And if he does, I want to make sure that local jails are part of it. I can't fathom that it wouldn't be, but I would be remiss as the sheriff provided come forward, to try to make sure that's part of it. You know, as you all know, roughly 2/3 of individuals that are in our jail have substance use problems. And what Supervisor Decker was articulating is that this would give us a 90-day window. They would be eligible for this for the last 90 days of incarceration of their sentence. Now, Felix is nodding the way over there. You know exactly what I'm talking about from the work detention center. So if we can get these folks this additional help, it provides them with mental health. It's gonna go through their prescriptions, make sure that they're gonna get the supply of prescriptions that they need ahead of time. And what that does, in essence, and we have discharge planners and we have folks that do this now, but at a lower level. And these are the most at-risk individuals in our community. And it doesn't matter your perspective. There's a high side to it for any perspective. If you're a cop, this is going to help reduce recidivism. And but how that does that is by helping them not reoffend, not go back to using right away. And the individual who's at the most at risk for overdosing is the person right when they come out. What happens is they use the same level they're using when they went in. And anyone who's worked in a jail knows, or has a television and watches those cop shows, understands the fact that individuals that come off the street, right, frequently at the very worst day of their life. And then the jailers, the correctional officers that we have to deal with that, try to get them leveled out, and they do, and they're fine while they're in, because they're in a very stable environment. But as they leave our custody, not only do we not have control of them, but we don't know where they're gonna go, what they're gonna do. But these folks are gonna make sure that they have not just their medications, but their appointments set up. They have the right services waiting for them when they get out, and they have kids them 3 months to make sure they're all stable. So, like I said, if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. As we look here, I'll read the last part. As we look at the week ahead, we need your assistance getting the following bill, Assembly Bill 604, scheduled for the floor vote. Bill pertains to the coverage under Medicaid assistance program for incarcerated individuals with substance use disorder. That's all well and good. That's exactly what we're looking for. We'll just need to make sure that we are included in this, because this will go right along with everything we've done in their in-custody population in the last several years. We've did initiative after initiative. Everything we've done, almost all of it has been done with grant money. We haven't gone to the taxpayer. We haven't dug in the county's pocket for anything. Helping with human services at the state level and the county level. Behavioral health here has been incredible. They've helped us with in the budget, as far as the grants go. You know, when I took my office, I was not a grant writer. Well, I helped write a couple, and I found the smartest people in the building, and they're doing it. And went down Shared Road to get some more help, and that's what we've been doing. So this is something that will help us exponentially. And if you're just the bean counter, you're not looking at the human side of it, then save some beans, right? So we're gonna be able to offstage some of that very expensive medication for those 90 days. So I just ask you for your support on this, and I appreciate your time.
So Sheriff, just, I guess tangentially, so it's 90 days, but the prescription is only good for 30 days. What do we do now to help supplement some of this? Again, it's nice that there's 90 days Medicaid and 30 days supply, but if they're not on their medication, we've all seen it, doesn't really work.
Well, this is for individuals that are on medication. We provide
I think it's a
medication.
30-day, right?
Right, we provide, correct. We provide medication assisted treatment in custody. But this would pick up for those last 90 days in custody.
Oh, in custody. I thought this was release.
90 days prior to
Okay.
release. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Nope.
This is pre-release, sir.
Okay.
So this would
I
pick
thought it
up
was
the
after
expense. Yes, sir. This would pick up the expense prior to the release. Make sure that they have everything they need. And there's actually language in here, dug deeper, obviously, to help in custody population. I'm looking for more. We have an embedded social worker, as you all know, and thank you very much for that. She's amazing and doing a great job. The deputy sheriff's love her, and she's doing exactly what we hoped she'd do. That's at the county level. Prairie has it as well. And I talked to the city about it not too long ago. That's all going just great. But more help like that could be funded in this type of a level is exponentially supportive or helpful to all of us.
Any comments or questions from the committee? Supervisor Norton?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chair. So how's it being administered now? It's being paid for by the county now, all the way through until their release.
Yes, sir.
So this will give the bills to have the Medicare, Medicaid paid for the last 90 days, saving us dollars. You said the bean counter, not to look at that. But the same medication continues up to this time, then on their release, then they're gonna be required to you put some appointments together and all that as well after release?
The release planner, the discharge planner does that now,
Okay,
but this would be more attention to that. So this,
what do you mean by more attention?
hopefully a professional that does this for a living.
Okay,
So we have correctional officers that are in that role right now, and I'm hoping to improve that even more.
okay,
You know, not to get rid of our discharge planner, discharge planner does a great job.
Mhm.
We have 800 custody, it's a lot of discharges, but for folks that are in this category, more.
okay. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? If not, we need a motion.
I'll move.
Then move to approve.
Second.
Second by Supervisor Nordigan. Any other discussion, comments? Youth and Governance? How do you vote?
Oh, aye.
Aye.
Okay, committee?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Resolution, opposing proposed rulemaking relating to wireless deployment. I'm gonna pass the gavel to, Vice Chair Gaspy, because this is my resolution going forward. So as you've heard from a couple of the speakers, this was brought to my attention. The actual tower is in the village of Pleasant Prairie, but the majority of residents that are affected are in the city in that area there. So they brought forward this bill, Build America, eliminating barriers to wireless deployment rulemaking out of DC. So doing some research on it, the National Counties Association, the US mayors, the major cities, and the telecommunicators have all sent opposing things to the rulemaking. They're opposed to this. I think you'd heard here what happens though is, let me just say that they've all strenuously objected to this rulemaking.
Okay.
But what we need to do, and we've heard here, is keep some of that local control. You know, that remains essential. The fee structures that we can charge, you know, the remedies there, this bill, and I know it sent out some of the backup, makes it sound like we're the problem. The local governments are the problem. Again, you know, it's a public safety thing when you get to the noise mitigation, the buffers and stuff, property value, emergency access. You know, if it's a residential neighborhood, the compatibility, the design standards. So again, this resolution again will go to our federal reps to ask them to oppose this rulemaking. So try and answer any other questions if somebody has it.
Any questions, any discussion, Youth and Governance Committee members?
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair, You know, we know the importance of the cell towers. I mean, we all walk around with one of these, right?
Mhm.
And I think by proving this and supporting it, it's just gonna mean they're gonna have to think differently on how and where they put their cell towers. It's not like we're not going to have these things. So it might be a little more cost for them to do it, might be a little bit more cost for us to own it. It's not a luxury anymore. Obviously, it's part of our lives. So I think more local control is better. And we should have some say and, you know, we've got the horse in the race. Why don't we have the rest of the authority to move forward with, or not move forward with the plan? That's my, thank you.
I support local control across the board.
I would move to approve then.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved by Supervisor Morrissey, seconded by Supervisor Kirby. Is there any further discussion on this proposed motion? Yes.
I just, once it passes the floor, if it passes at the floor, I advise you to, request the clerk send it to all the counties and the WCA, so they get a copy and hopefully they take it also. That's all.
Any other discussion? Any other discussion at all? Youth and Governance Committee members? All right, well, hearing none. It's been moved and seconded. Youth and Governance, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? All right, supervisors, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Passes.
Thank you.
Speaking
Number
of passing, John, here's the gavel.
Number 9, an ordinance to amend, chapter 2.023 related to the time of the county board regular meetings. Supervisor Nudo.
Thank you, Chairman Hennessy. During the month of December, when I was going out collecting senior gifts for the nomination, I was asking the people living in my district, if they have any questions, concerns, or ideas on what they want from the county board. And mostly from the older people. I'm one of them, so no disrespect for any of them. What I heard is that they would like to see the time the county board with Lord before 7:30, because they feel for them, especially now with nice weather or whatever, they would like to come, but they feel that it's too late for them to call. And they asked if I could do anything. I said, well, personally, by myself, there's nothing I can do. I said, but I'd be more than willing to present it to the county board and see if they're willing to change it. That's the reason why I put in the resolution to change it to 6:30.
Okay, any other discussion?
Yeah, so I thought back and forth about this because personally, I will say, I wake up at 3:30 in the morning to get ready and catch a train, so I don't particularly like late meetings either, but I do think that obviously we want constituents to be able to attend meetings, but I also think we want to make sure that our county board meetings are accessible so that many different people in different stages of life can run for the county board and serve on the county board. And I think if it gets too early, then people who have full-time jobs or childcare needs might not be able to make it to meetings that are earlier. So I think that just in the interest of keeping it at a time that is after many people's obligations end and sort of opening it up to more people to participate. I know that if our committee meetings moved earlier, I would have trouble making it, even though, again, I do prefer to go to bed early as well. That's sort of my perspective, and I think I'm probably going to vote against it just in the interest of sort of keeping it more open to people to participate.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In the town of Randall, our town board meetings are held at 6 o'clock. Now, granted, out there, we all live out there. People who come, no one's complaining about them being too early. Down here, there's many more people, many more walks of life and all that, but I don't really see a problem with being at 6:30, especially 6 might be a little bit early, but at 6:30. And I would like to put forward the motion to approve it. And if there's further discussion as well.
Sure. Okay, there's a motion to approve. Is there a second? A second?
I'll second it for discussion.
Okay, then moved and seconded. Discussion. Further Curtis.
So, as a working parent, who has a job and kids who have activities after school, I know for me, it would be difficult, especially if we had to move back our committee meetings, to actually make it to those on time, and be prepared, and have had something to eat at some point during the day, before I got to them. And I think that would be challenging for our constituents as well, to be able to make it to these. I think we all know that most of the work gets done in committees, and I wish we always had a crowd like this at all of our committee meetings. But I want everybody to have the opportunity to be able to be there when that happens. So I would be voting no against it. I would consider a possible 7 o'clock, a little bit earlier, because I feel like that's a reasonable accommodation.
I think you have your hand up.
Yeah, I was talking that, so I was gonna, how do people feel about splitting the difference and going at 7?
7.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Committee meetings don't have to maintain on the same nights that they are. They can move to a different night. That may or may not be more of an issue or less of an issue for certain people, but certainly a committee meeting can still start at 6 or 6:30 if we move to 7 or whatever on a different night as well. So that's always an option. We did move the Public Works meeting from the first Tuesday to first Tuesday. I remember the days, Monday, so the last Monday, based on that. So I know those things can be arranged. But I'd also be in support to, splitting it in half if, I'd change my motion to, 7 o'clock rather than 6:30.
Okay, with the
I
second,
think, yeah. Second.
and I can certainly support 7. I wouldn't have supported 6:30. I think it's too early. I did talk to some of the supervisors and you're out west. They said by the time they leave and get in and work and stuff. So I think 7 works. I can certainly support that as well. So there's an amendment on the floor. Supervisor Newell.
I don't have a problem with 7 o'clock. I think it's a good, compromise, if you want to call it that way. 6:30 is pretty much I was bringing what, was suggested to me from the people. But, and to be honest, I was thinking about 7 o'clock too, so we did not have to make any changes to the committees, so. I'm in support of that, even though I put 6:30, because that was the will of the people that I talked to. That expressed my opinion, so,
Any
it's a
other
good compromise.
discussion? There's other supervisors in the audience, nothing? All right, so the motion on the floor then is to amend the resolution to 7 PM. Any other discussion on that? Yes, sir.
I don't currently serve on the Human Services Committee. I have in the past, but for those who do,
Stephanie,
It's usually at 6, so that would still work with
Okay.
the 7 PM meeting because.
from what I recall, sometimes there
the
can be.
chairman of that committee is here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, from what I recall, sometimes there can be lengthy presentations from staff. Sometimes, I don't know if
It's
that's
still
the
usually
case.
less than an hour though.
Yeah, we're normally done within an hour, sometimes less, depending on what's on the agenda. So, I mean, frankly, I wouldn't mind a 7 o'clock either, because sometimes if we have a shorter meeting, then.
Yeah,
we
like an
have
hour to
sit
kill,
for
yeah.
45 minutes and
Yeah.
wait till the actual county board meeting. So I wouldn't be averse to a 7 o'clock, county board meeting.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you.
I just want to ask a question through. So if this would pass the county board, when would it go into effect?
Yeah, it's a good question. Typically, they go in effect upon, publication. This, because it is changing the rule, would require 2 readings. So the earliest that the board would take this up, unless there was a motion to suspend, would be the second meeting in March. My suggestion is going to be, and I don't want to presume what the committee or the board will do, but that we might want to, include, at the board level, some sort of, make it clear that it would start with the next board. I think that would make the most sense. Of course, that we mess with the 2 meetings, but nonetheless, I still think it would make the most sense to start, with the new board.
In April. Okay. With that, does anybody have any comments or questions on that? All right, youth and governance, here's your big vote. You want to change the time? Okay, committee? Anybody opposed? Passes unanimous.
Not gonna affect them unless they're using government.
Well, they might not want to run for the board.
Yeah,
though.
that's right.
All right, resolution to reduce the size of the county board. Supervisor Newton.
Wasn't that just a vote to get that amendment?
Oh, that was the amended vote. Now we have to vote
Now we
for
got-
the
Okay.
actual,
I thought we
yeah.
actually, well, all right.
Yeah.
So now on the amended resolution, youth and governance? Committee? Anybody opposed? Passes unanimous.
I figured that's the way it was going.
Shocking.
All right, you're a good parliamentarian. Keep me on my time.
Oh, let's not go that far.
Number 10, a resolution to reduce the size of the county board. Supervisor Newton.
Well, let's hope this one will go as easy as the other one. Again, one of the things that I wanted to do this year, we are, as a county board, we may reduce the size of the county board once between the decennial redistricting. And because right now, there's so much technology and everything, it's easier for a county supervisor to represent a few extra people. So, and also it's a big, it's not a huge saving, but it's some savings. I've heard that by reducing by 6 supervisors, on an average, it's roughly about $10,000 a year per supervisor, we include everything in there. So it would be a reduction of about 60,000, which I know everybody on the board is very well aware of the fiscal responsibilities and everybody's very fiscal, wants to keep it as low as possible. That would help too. And for that reason, I choose put the resolution to change it from the 23 supervisor now down to 17. I know one of the things that I thought about it too is because, of course, Kenosha is getting bigger in size and everything. But I remember the last time when the board was reduced from 28, I mean, 28 down to 23. I mean, Kenosha was moving upwards quite a bit too. And I think you worked out quite well, with that change. And for that reason, I presented this resolution to change it from 23 down to 17. Or if anybody's got a different number, I mean, we negotiated too. If someone wants a different numbers, but pretty much what we did on the other one is.
I'm just gonna start. So, in my 2 years here, this is the issue that I have had the most people contact me on, and they have all been absolutely opposed to it. In general, I wouldn't be opposed to having the committee to look at it, but I think that needs to be done in the decennial census tract. It shouldn't be done midstream in that 10 years, so I'm certainly not going to support it tonight. Again, I think if it was done in the proper context of a committee and during the census, that may be there, but I will tell you that, as I said, everybody that has contacted me on this is absolutely opposed to this, so I'm not supporting it tonight. Mr. Stocker, Supervisor.
So I'm all for fiscal responsibility, and so that would attract me to this. But the downside of it is I like to knock on every door in my district. And I barely make it through my district, and to make it even more would be, just make that impossible. So I'll oppose this.
Any other supervisors?
Similarly, I heard from many people and everyone was very against it and kind of saw it as reducing voice and impact. And I think in the sense of being able to knock every door and having a more personal relationship with your constituents, it would detract from that. Even if technology allows us to reach them, that's not quite doesn't have quite the mutuality of having a smaller number of constituents, that there's a benefit to that.
In a similar sense as Supervisor Stocker, the fiscal responsibility of it and maybe moving it towards a census number, unless all 6 are going to come out of the city of Kenosha. I can't make any more people as it is now, as myself, Supervisor Decker, Supervisor Gray. The geography is just massively large. So it's going to become even larger. Now here, it's a lot closer, but you're still not knocking on every door. I know that some people might be, but I can't physically do it. And I don't rely on somebody else to go out and do my knocking. I do it myself because I'm the one that's running for the position. And again, out west, it's going to become even harder to be closer to your constituency. And so right now I can't see supporting it, but if we want to bring it up after the census or something like that, then I think we could do that.
That's correct.
So, similar, I received a lot of feedback from constituents opposing it, and constituents within my district, that felt like they would lose a voice. And I also kind of think about, obviously, Supervisor Nordigan and Decker and, Supervisor Gray's districts, where you can have drastically different opinions, when you have such a large geographic area. I think it is really hard to represent all of people. But as Chair Morrissey said, I think it would make sense to reassess it. 10-year mark.
Any other supervisors? Comments? All right, is there a motion? Is there a motion? Is there a motion? Fails for a lack of a motion.
I make a comment, I just want to say I appreciate you guys taking the time. I appreciate all the comments, very good comments. And also I'm glad I'm betting 500 today. If I was I will get a huge contract. But again, thank you for your patience and all your comments are very appreciated. Thank you.
Before we adjourn, I have a bill on the one where we change to 7, how do we do the, do we amend it, do we write on it, do you?
Official amendment.
I don't know if that's what we had. to do.
Yeah, we need the magic lawyer hands to do it.
Magic lawyer hands. That old black magic.
All right, now, did you make a motion to adjourn?
I did make a motion for that.
Moved by Supervisor Nordigan, second by Supervisor Stocker, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Stand adjourned.